All right, welcome to week 6. We got some feature matches here to kick off the week right after the rollover. I got Matthias here with me, the Foundations League champion. How's it going?
Pretty well, except for a little bit of a cough, but other than that,
Yeah,
can't complain.
we'll get through it. So we got Thomas C here, who's starting the week in very good standing at 17-6, and he's facing off against Chris York, who is facing his elimination here at 14-10. What's he got in his hand here aside from the Cyclops we just saw?
So I think we're looking at a decently built Iset spell stack, or at least spell synergy deck. Currently an island, a mountain, a Chandra's Pyrohelix, a Prosperous Thief, and a Nibelus of Frost.
Is Prosperous Thief, that's a ninja of some kind?
Yes,
Okay.
when he deals damage to a player, he gets to make a treasure token.
Yeah. So just as a reminder, I mean, I'm sure everybody who's playing in week 6 is aware, but the players must play uh, two color decks this week. So the color identity must be only two colors. So basically, like it works in Commander. Uh, and we do see Thomas here with a hand with three Ardenvale Tacticians in hand here.
Hmm.
So it might be a little awkward to deploy them into a Nibelus of Frost. He has an Infuriate, which is a pump spell that gives, I believe, +3/+2 for 1 mana.
Yeah, I think so.
And he's got a Gideon Ally of Zendikar. So that's a scary planeswalker,
Boy.
but not so good in the face of this Nibelus potentially. All right. He's gonna play the Gideon here. I mean, if he zeros to make a 2/2, Gideon just dies to any spell. So he's played it, and now he's thinking, huh.
Well, it doesn't really matter what uh, Thomas chooses for Gideon because due to Chandra's Pyrohelix, he can direct the damage either way
Yeah.
and still have enough damage
Oh,
over.
that's filthy because he can kill
He,
this slide runner also. Yeah, even if Gideon went up to 5, he could kill the slide runner and Gideon.
all the value in the world.
So this Gideon's going to be a 4 mana 2/2 here that prevented Thomas from being attacked directly for a turn. But
I mean, it gains him for life in a way.
yeah, it prevented him from being attacked for a turn. So we'll see who wins in a fight: one Niblis or three Ardenvale Tacticians. The classic matchup here. So what is that one? It's just you get a treasure whenever a ninja.
No when the Prosperous Thief, as far as I'm
Okay,
aware.
okay. Yeah, it does have ninjutsu also, but yeah,
Not really
he's just gonna
relevant
have to
here.
like play this Ardenvale Tactician kind of
Oh,
sadly a little bit.
sorry, it's whenever one or more ninja or rogue deals damage to a player.
Of course, how could I forget? Yeah, so he's just gonna attack here. Does he have instants in his hand?
Nope. Just the Treasure Cruise and a flip card from Strixhaven.
So if
U Uwilda, Dean of Perfection, and I don't know what's on the backside
oh
of that one.
the backside is the good one. The front side is very bad. The backside it's like 5 mana 4/4, and you exile the top card of your opponent's deck at the beginning of your upkeep, and you can play it that turn.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
And the front one like gives things like pseudo suspend. It's quite bad. Yeah, you basically always play that one. So if Thomas was feeling brazen, he could have gone for the infuriate and blocked, but that would get blown out by just about anything on York's end. So he said, "I'm not feeling so brazen to do that." But this Dean is going to start getting card advantage here.
Yes.
Yeah, so he just grabs the top card of his opponent's deck at the beginning of his upkeep, and he could play it and use any mana, and it gets bigger, I believe, as well.
Yes. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, he gets a +1/+1 counter.
Yeah, it's a classic 5 mana, no ETB, no protection, but if you untap with it, very good things
There
might happen.
is there is value to be had.
Yeah. It's I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it is. You play it, you cross your fingers, you say, hopefully I get to untap with it. And with these Ardenvale tacticians, with another Ardenvale tactician in hand and the Infuriate, oh, there's
Whoa!
another Ardenvale tactician.
And
However,
then tactician off the top of the deck.
he can't cast both halves of it, right? Because if he casts the front half, the
Well,
adventure half, he'll need 2 white mana.
he could when he takes when he gets 2 hits in with the Prosperous Thief.
Oh well, he does have 1 treasure already, so
Off note, the adventure already costs 1 white mana, so only the creature part of the card is any mana to be
oh,
cast.
really?
Yes,
That's strange. Okay, I guess we're
it is.
learning new things here.
I mean, the upside
However,
of
if
that
yeah,
thing is that it's a spell and Nibulus triggers off of it.
yeah, if he casts the adventure half, he'll now have to cast the other half for 1 white. That's the
Exactly.
yeah, but he'll be able to do that because he'll get a treasure. So he's also dealing a lot of
No,
damage
he.
here.
Yeah,
oh, oh, if he was able to cast this Ardenvale, he would just win on the spot with the Nasari getting an extra counter. But with
exactly.
the treasure cruise will exactly do it. So exact lethal here. The Niblis just taking over, no removal on the side of Thomas here. Just Ardenvale tacticians, it seems. He had that one removal of the Firecraft that he used on the Nivik Cyclops to start to get his attacks in, but maybe he'll be a bit more selective with his removal after having seen
Likely.
what came down from York after the Nasari and the Niblos being must answers. The 1/4 being it's annoying to not be able to attack through it, but it doesn't win the game, and those do. No sideboarding here for Thomas, and presumably none for York either. We would go right into game
Nope,
two. What's he got over there?
nothing. White Slash, which is currently open, a continuous plan, and a Spellgorger weird, so maybe some proliferate counter shenanigans afoot.
All right, and the rest is lands. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay,
3 islands and 1 Guildgate.
so hoping to draw some action here. Not a super strong hand, but good enough for the time being. Thomas has got a Legion loyalist that looks like he's about to play. He's got an exquisite
Uh,
firecraft. He's
Quick
got
question
yeah.
about the non-basic lands. I thought non-basic lands were not allowed in this week.
As long as they meet the color requirements, you're allowed to.
Okay, so that was amended then.
You're allowed to play your Guildgate.
Okay.
Yeah, or your
Okay.
campus, or your whatever. If
Okay.
you
Okay.
or your Gainland, if you picked one up from Kamigawa. Basically, it's like Commander. Basically, it's
Yep.
like Commander rules. So as long as you fit that,
Makes sense.
yeah. So the Legion Loyalist came down, and York decided he wanted to go after the Law Rune Enforcer rather than the Legion Loyalist. He's going to pump it up here with a Rimrock Knight. He has one of his many Ardenvale Tacticians in hand, and he has an exquisite Firecraft as well and a Plains. So he does have that removal in hand. Like I said, might be slightly more selective this time about what to take out with it.
No, I think he's gonna go for the Spellgorger weird to keep the way clear, to
Yes,
keep on attacking. I mean, he's on the board for damage a turn.
yeah. Okay, he's gonna go for the Heliod's Pilgrim. Perhaps he has a Chain to the Rocks, is what he's wanting to get. Oh no, okay, he does have the Chain to the Rocks. Yeah, so the only
Okay.
targets in his deck was Chain to
Better.
the Rocks and Dragon Mantle.
So not even a compulsory rest.
Did
Okay.
not no did not see it among the cards eligible to be taken. But
Well,
nice turn there, and just leaving York with not many options here.
yeah.
Handful of lands, it
No,
seems.
problem is only non-land card in his hand is an illusionary angel, which is
Oh yeah,
hard to cast as the only card,
yeah.
as the only spell.
You need like a lot of considers and stuff to make that one work.
I think that might be game actually. When if he doesn't draw anything. And even so, the Legion Loyalist with Dragon
Yeah,
Mantle will
yeah.
make it a lot harder.
This is gonna be five, and then there's an exquisite firecraft in hand. So unlikely he'll be able to survive unless he
Yeah, no, that's a
plays
mountain.
Gates Ablaze or something. he
That was a
says
mountain.
he says hello, but it's really going to be a. Is it five lands in hand?
Four lands and
Okay,
the Angel.
four lands in the Angel. Yeah, so he drew just lands and an uncastable. So Thomas can do just about whatever here. Yeah, he's going to play Annex and Cymede, and I guess tap it with the Ardenvale Tactician. York must is York on full control over there.
Yep,
Okay.
he sure is.
I mean, you gotta represent something, but Thomas is an aggro player through and through, so he's attacking all no matter what.
I think pretty much everyone would in this format.
Oh yeah,
I mean, there is no Ether Rise like in Foundations.
yeah. So there it goes. Just too many lands and a nice little aggro start here, and he gets it done, and sends it back just as fast as as he sent it back last time.
York's taking a little bit longer to deliberate.
Yeah, I mean maybe he has something that might be good against like small creatures.
So currently, a Nibelus, or a Serpentine Curve, and the Sphinx of Magosi have left the deck,
Okay,
and he's looking
the
at other cards
Niblis. He
that
took out
are
the Niblis.
no. Sphinx of
Oh,
Magosi
okay.
and a Serpentine Curve.
Okay. Yeah, Serpentine Curve might be a little too slow, and it's not going to do what you need it to do against this deck.
Also, the Illusionary Angel has left.
Yeah, I think it should probably be in the sideboard most of the time. Like I said, you need like a really dedicated deck with like a bunch of considers and other one mana spells you can cast. Really, like you want to play it on turn 4 or 5, like if it's in your opening
And
hand.
interestingly enough, also the counter spell. So apparently, he's afraid of not being able to counter the uh, 4 mana, 4 damage to the face spell. What's it called? Exquisite Firecraft.
Exquisite Firecraft. Yeah. Oh, he's taking out. Which counter spell is that?
Uh, Plain old counter
Oh,
spell.
the counter spell.
The counter spell from Strixhaven Archive.
I mean, I don't see when I would want to side out counterspell, but I guess he knows his deck better than me, so we'll trust him on this one.
Okay, so a Dragon Mantle comes in. Interestingly enough.
Huh. I mean, is he going to try and be like more aggressive than his opponent? Because that is going to be hard.
Some 2 drops.
Yeah, I think he's assuming the aggro position. So do you agree that he should be trying to be the aggressive one, or should he be planning
No,
to
not
defend
with what I
himself?
see from his
Yeah.
deck. I mean, maybe he's just trying to gun up the board early to stop the bleeding as soon as possible.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it's going to be hard to be. It's hard to play a long game against all of the Ardenvale tacticians because those can just come sort of in waves and just tap down your things. Like even when you do play the blockers, if you do
Oh
kill other
wow.
things. So
He sided in a Misium skin. So maybe
okay,
to avoid being tapped down. Still interesting though.
yeah, a Mizium skin overloaded would fizzle this the spell half of the uh, Ardenvale. Nice, very nice
Okay,
hand here for Thomas here. Uh,
this looks a lot more aggressive for York.
okay,
Uh, Ash Salad, McKinney's Light Runner, Heart Piercer Manticore, Boulder Salvo, and a Coom Warrior.
okay, looks not bad. Thomas has got a witch's mark here to potentially go with this a Chrome Crusader, very classic 1 drop, 2 drop play in this format. However, he's just attacking, which means he's probably going to play his illustrious historian. He's also got Legion Loyalist, Chandra's Pyrohelix, Annex and Cymede, and a Plains as well as the Witch's Mark. So very Boros looking hand here with a piece of removal, aggressive creatures, the Witch's Mark.
I mean, Pyrohelix would go a long way for either player at this point, I think.
Yeah, I don't feel like he needs to trade here with a Pyro Helix in hand, but maybe he figures this is a race that I need to win. But okay, interesting. They did go for the block there. Celestial Archon, not a great pickup here.
Bit expensive.
Yeah, so maybe he's just gonna play the Annex and Siamede this turn, and then maybe try and put the Witch's Mark on that.
Oh, okay. I think now York's just gonna attack with the Ash Salad and then fling it at the 3-2 with the Heart Piercer Manticore.
That's a fair thing to do. Annex and
Yeah,
Siamede left unchecked is extremely dangerous.
that's the recipe for disaster.
Yeah, okay. Pretty good here. No real answer to this 4-3, and he's drawn one of his Ardenvale tacticians here. So no
So
fourth
for next,
land, and he has three cheap red spells, but only one mountain. Like if that plains in play were a mountain, it'd be a little different. But
I still think the Witch's Mark to dig for more. Yeah.
yeah, he's going to drop the Legion Loyalist here. Not very useful in the face of a 4-3, and he does find two mountains. So it does mean he'll be able to potentially cast, if he wants to, his Celestial Archon next turn, just as a 4-4 flying first strike.
I think there was cards
Yeah,
than that.
interesting that he's doing this now rather than to prevent an attack. Huh.
I mean, he can still jump block if it comes
Yeah,
down to
it
that.
just it didn't add damage, right? To do that.
No.
Hmm.
I mean, it prevented York from blocking the 2-2.
Right.
The
Okay. Yeah. Of course.
Manticore was
Yeah. Yeah. Of
untapped.
course. Of course. Of course. That makes sense then. All right. York's not afraid here. He's gonna send in his Manticore. He's got a nice homunculus
Okay.
here to draw him a card.
Ooh. Yeah, here comes the Boulder's Elbow. But
Yeah.
knowing what you know, he probably should have kept it.
Oh, now a Rabble Master off the top here is another
Ooh.
scary one here. The hits keep coming here. Thomas is going back and forth between them. He's highlighting the cards back and forth, figuring what he wants to do. If he does play the Round Master, he still has access to Pyro Helix if he feels he can do something with that.
I don't think he needs to,
Hmm.
because Feverfib is not that much of an issue with all his creatures being 1/1s anyway.
Yeah, it's no. I mean, Fibblethip, it's never going to be that bad, but it's not doing too great here against those 1/1 tokens.
Ooh. A Chandra, a Fire Artisan.
That's the one
But
from War of the Spark.
yes, the
Okay.
one that ticks up and when it is dealt damage, it deals damage equal
Yeah.
to the lost loyalty counters to an
Uh,
opponent.
oh, whenever counters are removed, right? So if you minus
Yes.
it, you get to do that as well.
Yeah, but the minus is, I think, -7.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good one. All right, here comes Rabble Master. So he is going to
Oh,
make a sacrifice here of this goblin.
what's the last spell in hand?
He has a Chandra's Pyro Helix that he's had
Okay.
since the beginning here. So I mean, if York blocks with the Manticore, he could use the Pyro Helix to finish it off, and I think he's hoping for that to happen, and that's why he's attacking with both his 1/1s here.
Eh, is it worth? Is might it not be better to develop the board with the? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
it seems like Thomas agrees with your insight more.
well, I just said the doubts were those were his options, and as an aggressive leaning player, he wanted to attack, so he did.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so no extra damage here in hand for Thomas aside from like
Yay.
aside from the Rabble Master, which in itself represents extra damage, but like he doesn't have like a burn spell or one of his pump spells in hand.
Now we play the pile game. Reverse Factor Fiction, aka Steam Augury.
So fiction or fact?
Apparently.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fact or fiction, except you make the pile. No, your
And the
opponent.
opponent
Oh no,
chooses.
you make the piles, but your opponent chooses which one you get. Okay, yeah, fact or fiction.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, neither of these piles is exceptionally helpful here.
Not really, but I think he
I assume
gets
he's
the
going to take.
Dragon Mantle.
Oh, I was going to say he takes the creature, but
I mean, a Dragon Mantle doesn't add to the board. The creature at least gives the potential to copy a spell in the future, or something like that.
yeah,
And is an additional blocker for the Rubber Master and the Goblin it creates.
yeah. The being a blocker is the main thing here, since I feel like York has to attack with his 4/5. Okay, I guess
Yep.
he's not attacking then, or maybe he is.
Let's see what the Dragon Mantle draws.
Yeah, if he attacks here, he's dead to just about anything that can do one extra damage.
So, thing is, for next turn, if the warrior attacks and is pumped, then he can sacrifice the pumped warrior after combat to the Manticore and fling it at Thomas's face.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to hope that this warrior doesn't get removed. But okay, he's going for the attack here.
He's saying, I'm not winning by blocking.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's himself dead to anything that adds a damage. Draconic Roar not being that.
6, 8, yeah, 8 damage on board with the token and the trigger
Yeah,
of the Roman Master. Wow, that's cutting it close.
yeah. I mean, you got to have nerves of steel to attack in and leave yourself dead to anything that can add one damage. Like,
Issue is not Thomas has to attack. Holding back the Archon doesn't bring anything because the warrior can just pump once and then sacrifice to the Manticore, and that's exactly 5 damage.
yeah, it's on board here. So basically, York has to see it, but I think he'll see it. Not much he can do against this. He's taking a minute. He's thinking, what could mess this up? I mean, whatever it is, Thomas would have done it already.
Is there a 5 mana? Is there 3 mana 5 damage spell in the pool of cards?
I mean, Thomas would have played it on his turn and just attacked.
Yeah.
there's
Okay.
just
Fair
there's
point.
yeah,
Fair point.
there's absolutely no removal that he's holding
Okay.
that he could cast now that he wouldn't have cast
So
already.
York's currently hovering over the Manticore, but decides to pump the warrior an additional time,
He wants him at -1. I mean, it's fair.
and there we go.
All right, so very well done here. To he says, you know what, take that on the way out. But yeah, so York is going to stay alive here with a very, very close back and forth match here. And I guess leaning a bit more aggressive did benefit him in the end. So congratulations to Chris York. Stays alive here in week 6 to chase the dream. And we'll be back in a little while with our second match of the week.